this week we lost one of our past presidents with George H.W. Bush. I heard somebody, I think it might have been Governor LePage, say he was Maine's president as well, given the fact that he spent so much time here, had such a presence in Kennebunkport. Did you have any interactions with him when you were in office?
I did, and long before that. The first time I ever met President Bush was in 1980. He was the vice presidential nominee. And I was a young staff guy working for Olympia Snow. She had an event down on Mount Desert Island. And I can still remember this event, you know, a lot of VIPs there. And when George Bush arrived, I was working the registration desk. And with all of those important people in the room, he actually broke away from them and came over and stood there and talked to the other person and I who were working that desk, wow. Gail Kelly in those days.
Oh, yeah.
And it made a huge impression on me. He didn't have to even notice us.
Right.
But he was a genuine, kind, thoughtful person. And there was nobody there to really notice what he was doing. But he came over and stood there and engaged us and talked with us. And from that point on, I was a George Bush fan. He was a genuine, kind person.
He was, it's no secret, he was a one-term president, and then more recently, a lot of people have been sort of hearkening back to when he was president, saying, gosh, I wish we would have someone like him back in office. What, was it an element at the time? I don't really remember what sort of, what happened in that election cycle.
I think what you're saying is you were a kid and I wasn't. Right?
I didn't want to go, you know, I realized halfway through that I shouldn't have started the sentence.
That's okay, I got it. Well, you know, I think during his time, I don't think he was fully appreciated. And one of the nice things about the last couple of days is seeing the nation, I think, recognize and appreciate exactly the quality of the human being, from the 20-year-old Navy pilot who was shot down, nearly lost his life, and then had a sense that he was spared for a reason and went on to serve his country for the rest of his life in a very selfless way. And it's great to see, you know, people from both parties recognize him for the truly heroic nature of his life.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, seeing him laugh along with Dana Carvey after doing the President Bush impressions for so many years, and seeing him join up with President Clinton for the greater good after President Clinton essentially was responsible for him being, well, I shouldn't say responsible for, but he took over after one term.
Exactly.
It showed to me what kind of a person he was, for sure. So
yeah, and it shows there's more to life than just politics.